All right, guys, so we got to talk about more bad news for Brittney Griner, as it seems that she will be breaking big rocks into little rocks in a Russian prison camp for longer than she probably would like. And the woke revolutionaries are probably still upset about this. They're still crying about this. The fact that Brittney Griner is locked up in a Russian prison, despite her saying that, hey, she doesn't want to stand for the national anthem. In fact, she didn't even want to come out for the national anthem, right? When she was playing in WNBA, she said it shouldn't be played before games because America is systemically racist against people like her. And now she is begging this systemically racist country to get her out of prison in Russia, another country in which, so-called people of color are treated much worse, right, than they are here in the United States. Hopefully, this is a lesson learned for her in regards to how blessed she is to be born an American, right? Especially a black woman that is LGBTQ. She's especially blessed to be American because there is no other place on earth where she's going to get better treatment than here in the United States. Some people have to learn that the hard way, okay? But hey, despite Brittney Griner hating this country, we're allegedly in talks with Russia to do a potential trade for Brittney Griner, including giving away a Russian arms dealer who conspired to kill Americans for Brittney Griner, right? And another American Marine, okay? Again, it's amazing how privilege works, right? But those talks, as of now, have not resulted in anything solid. We really don't know how long Brittney Griner is going to be in prison. However, there's a little slither of hope that she could get out sooner than later. And that slither of hope comes from no other than ex-NBA star turned pseudo-American diplomat Dennis Rodman, okay, whom infamously went to North Korea to talk to Kim Jong-un, because him and Kim Jong-un are apparently boys, right? They go way back, okay? So Dennis Rodman has had some experience with foreign policy, if you can call it that, and he says that he was going to go to Russia. He wanted to go to Russia and talk to Putin and negotiate on behalf of Brittney Griner to get her out, right? That is what he said, okay? However, it seems like Dennis Rodman had a quick wake-up call, as he has now reversed course, saying that he is not going to go to Russia to seek Brittney Griner's release. And I want to read about this and the reasons why Dennis Rodman is not going to Russia, because I find this story to be fascinating and at the same time kind of hilarious, right? Because it is Dennis Rodman, and leave it to an ex-NBA star to try to save a WNBA star the same way that the NBA is kind of saving the WNBA by subsidizing them, right? The strong independent women of the WNBA are once again depending on the man of the NBA, right, to try to save them, okay? So with that being said, let's read about this. During the weekend, the former NBA player reportedly told a news outlet he was going to Russia to help that girl. Just 2 days after former NBA player Dennis Rodman told a news outlet that he was going abroad because, quote, he got permission to go to Russia to help that girl, he said the trip would not happen. He reversed course soon after the U.S. State Department announced that Rodman's trip would not be on behalf of the United States. Let me read a little bit more here before I talk about what that actually means. ABC News reported Saturday that Rodman, while in Washington, D.C. restaurant, made the statement to the media outlet about his planned travel to seek the release of WNBA player Brittney Griner. Monday, the U.S. government cautioned Rodman not to interfere in the Griner case, according to ABC News. Ned Price, a State Department spokesperson, told ABC News during a press briefing that if Rodman did go to Russia, quote, he would not be traveling on behalf of the U.S. government. He added, quote, we believe that anything other than negotiating further through the established channels is likely to complicate and hinder those release efforts. Price added that the State Department has provided very clear guidance to American citizens owing to a number of threats, not the least of which is the threat of wrongful detention, that Americans should not travel to Russia. That has been a message to private Americans across the board, ABC reported. Yeah, so here's what I think is going on, right? I think Rodman announced that he would go to Russia to negotiate on behalf of Brittney Griner, thinking that this would maybe be a free trip, right? That maybe the U.S. government would sponsor it, right? And the U.S. government came out and said, nah, bruh, right? We ain't paying for this, dog. If you gonna go, you gonna go on your own, okay? You're not being sponsored by us. We're not paying for it, which means that if they detain you, then we can't help you out, right? You're gonna be stuck because it's not like they will be arresting or detaining an American diplomat, somebody working on behalf of the American government, which again would severely escalate the chances of conflict, right? So if we send somebody over there on behalf of the U.S. government and they get locked up in Russia wrongfully, like actually wrongfully detained, then yeah, I mean, we would basically have to get a direct conflict with Russia in order to get them out because they were traveling there on behalf of the government, right? You can't have foreign governments locking up officials of, the U.S. government, right? That's almost like a act of war, so to speak, right? So again, Dennis Rodman going over there, and if he was acting on behalf of the U.S. government, would be super risky. So the State Department's like, nah, bruh, we ain't got nothing to do with this, right? We're ridding our hands of this. And Rodman probably thought about it and said, well, if I go over there, the U.S. government ain't helping me out if I get arrested. Now, this guy, Dennis Rodman, I have no doubt he's probably into the same things that got Brittney Griner arrested, right? So he may be crazy enough to think that he can do what Brittney Griner did and get away with it, right? But I don't think that's the case. Even though, he might be cool with Putin. I believe he's visited Putin before. There's a lot of guys, athletes, right, that apparently are cool with Putin, right? But I think that this is beyond that. I don't think that any relationship that Dennis Rodman may or may not have with Putin is going to have any effect on Brittney Griner, right? If anything, Putin may say, hey, we're going to actually wrongfully detain Dennis Rodman. We're going to lock him up. And then he just becomes another liability for the U.S. government, right? Because now at that point, we got to get him out, right? And a lot of people probably going to say it's worth getting Dennis Rodman out more than Brittney Griner, right? It might be worth putting more effort into getting him out than Brittney Griner. Now, although if Dennis gets locked up for going over there to negotiate on behalf of Brittney Griner, hey, I'm like, look, I don't think we should put that much effort into getting you out, bro, right? Because you knew what you was doing when you went over there. You knew the risk, and I don't think you should have done it, right? I think it was stupid for you to do it. So with that being said, I think the writing's on the wall here. I think that Dennis Rodman quickly realized that this was not going to end up well if he actually went over there trying to do what he said that he was going to do, okay? And the U.S. government told him, yeah, we're not going to help you out, right? So last month, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken told reporters that he has spoken to Sergei Lavrov, Russia's foreign minister, to discuss securing the return of Griner to the U.S. in exchange for Victor Bout, a convicted arms dealer, American Paul Whelan, who has been detained in Russia since 2018, would also be a part of that swap, ABC reported. Price noted that, quote, those discussions are ongoing. Rodman has previously informally inserted himself in international affairs with North Korea. The former player had an amicable relationship with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un during the past, making multiple visits to the country. Rodman traveled to Moscow in 2014, and after that trip described Russian President Vladimir Putin as, quote, cool. Again, I'm not sure if that prior trip or whatever relationship he believes he has with Putin is going to help him, right? I don't think that will help him. I think that he knows in his mind that he might be cool, but he ain't that cool, right? So I'm going to stay out of this, right? Which is, I guess, bad news for Brittney Griner, right? Because who knows? Dennis Rodman could have been her best hope, right? Putin may be more willing to negotiate with Dennis Rodman than he is with somebody like Biden, right? So I don't know. I mean, maybe if Dennis Rodman went over there, maybe she would have had some hope. But again, Dennis Rodman seems to have wisened up when the State Department told him that basically if you get locked up or something happens to you, we're not really going to help you, right? So good on Dennis Rodman for making the right choice, right? Good on him for deciding not to go to Russia. I don't think that would have been a good move. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.